Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Arunachala Ramanaya Om. Welcome everyone. We are celebrating Bhagwan's arrival at Arunachala 128 years ago when he was a boy of 16 years of age. The importance of this day for all of us is that he showed us the pathless path of abiding in self. Once he came to Arunachala, he never left Arunachala. Once he realized self, he always abided in self. So this staying at Arunachala is very symbolic also, that self-abidance is eternal. Once you know it, you are free from all bondages. Bhagwan did it to himself and later he did it to all of us. All of us can feel that bliss and peace of Arunachala Ramana. When someone asked Bhagwan at Virupaksha cave that who is he? He said, I am Arunachala Ramana. For me, Arunachala Ramana means both love and surrender. We get all this love from Bhagwan, his blessings, surrendering to him, surrendering to Arunachala. It is one and the same. Bhagwan's teachings are so easy, so simple, yet profound. If we stay constantly remembering his teaching, practicing it day in and day out, naturally we can stay in this pure self, in Hridayam, which is the center of our being. Bhagwan's grace is always on us. Grace is ever flowing. Infinite grace. To receive that grace, we have to be in our stillness. We have to give up our doership. Doership comes in form of thoughts and desires. Desires talk to us only in form of thoughts. Thoughts comes to us when we have identity with the body. This I am the body idea. But when we inquire and we reach the innermost core of our heart, Hridayam, we see there only Arunachala Ramana, none other than us. We are that Arunachala Ramana. Be in that and be peaceful and be happy. Stay in bliss of Arunachala Ramana. When we do this, this is the best offering to our teacher, our Lord, Bhagwan Ramana and Arunachala. Abide in self. Bhagwan's primary teaching is pure silence. When we pay attention to the self, we attain that pure silence. When thoughts are still arising, we can do self-inquiry as taught by Bhagwan. Once we arrive at self, we can pay attention to this self all the time. And sooner it becomes our natural state, effortless state, and all our efforts drop down. This is self-abidance. This is all grace of Arunachala, all grace of Ramana. This year, some of us devotees went to Arunachala, stayed at Bhagwan Sri Ramana Maharishi's ashram for a week. And Advent Day celebrations at ashram was so blissful. We did Girivalam as everyone does, visited other temples, went to Virupaksha, Skanda ashram, and everyone was soaked in that blissful energy of Arunachala and Ramana. We were so nicely looked after by people at ashram, and we all were soaked in the divine energy at ashram. We had satsangs there, bhajans, prayers, walks, and sitting in silence in old hall, in Samadhi hall. We would like to share clippings of our trip to Arunachala, trip to Sri Ramana Ashram on Bhagwan's 128th Advent Day. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Arunachala Ramanaya Om. Om Shanti Shanti.
Bhagwan has given us very clearly that you start where you have to end. Rather than saying everyone is God, that's okay, that's very good, but feel that godliness in you. The moment you accept that you are that divine, that self is God, you are giving the utmost respect to that God in you, which is with you for millions of years. But how foolish we are. We go to temples and mosque or wherever we go. We put God there and come back home and play with our ego as us as separate from that. How much insulting it is to the God within you that you go to every place, you think every place is sacred, and you don't treat yourself as sacred. And which is with you all the time. The moment you change your attitude towards your own self, things starts unfolding. Magic happens. See the God within you. The biggest issue with seeing the God within us is then you have to behave like God. Then you can't discriminate. Then you can't talk cheap. Then you can't cheat people. Then you can't lie. Your whole personality is at stake. And that's why people don't do it. Because it's not easy. Because what makes us selfish is our ego. And what makes ego is these ongoing intrusive thoughts, one after other. Where they come from? They come from our conditioning. And if you keep accepting those thoughts and keep following them as a slave, you're in bondage. The moment you decide that I am the divine awareness, which is uninvolved, then how those thoughts can affect you? They will be more like a noise in the head. But if you don't pay attention, you don't follow them, they will be less and less and less, and finally they will just disappear. Even if they will be there, they are not creating any issue to you. Now your mind is your slave, and the mind merges in that bliss. I think we all have seen that when we are stressed, it is because of thoughts. But some people can argue, say, oh, I love these thoughts, I am going there with that beautiful lady, or dreaming. Some people do daydreaming, or they think I will be there. If I don't have intention to be there, then how I will be there? That's what people say. If I don't have intention for success, then how I would be successful? And I agree with them. If you don't have intention to reach somewhere, probably you might not be the best in that field because you are not putting all your energy into it. But what do you want? Do you want peace or do you want success? You have to choose. You see people who are successful at the top of anything, how much stress they have gone, or do you think they are happy? Ask them. An Olympic winner, a gold medalist, next Olympics also wants a gold. And if he is unable to achieve, he is worse than before. But who understands these things, So I believe spirituality is for very, very small group of people. So if you try to apply spiritual rules in daily life for a worldly person, you cannot. So there is no point in arguing with anyone. First thing is this. And most important thing is, I have met so many seekers and they are in their dual mind. They want this, but they don't want to leave anything else. They have fear of losing what they have already gained. And this is what the ego is. It is all a mind construct. It's not that the moment you give up possessiveness in you, everything will go away from you. Maybe it might multiply, who knows? As Bhagwan puts it down beautifully, that whatever is in your prarabdha, you will get it. It will make you do things what you have to do, even if you are a lazy person. Or if you put your hard work and in your prarabdha, you can't get that, you can't achieve. No matter how hard work you do, you will not get it. So how beautiful this line is. And people keep arguing about it. I said, just accept it, you will be in peace. If there is no I identifying with the mind-body complex, all your past stories and future projection of this body's stories have no value for you. Because until now we have invested so much for this body, whatever we have done with this body. And to lose up that identity is very difficult. There are two types of death. One is death of the body, when we die. That is incomplete death, because only out of panch koshas, 5 sheaths of the body, only the gross body, sthul sharir, has gone away. Rest all of them are there. So this is not a death. For a complete death, you have to kill your ego. Bhagwan says mano nasha. Because if man goes with you, man actually, your mind creates another body because unfulfilled desires or unfulfilled issues with people. These unmet desires leads to another birth and then another birth. Unending cycle of birth and death. So, if you want complete death, which looks odd to most of the people, you have to kill your ego while alive. Ego is this identity. So we call it Hriday Granthi. It's a knot in the heart. Because the mind is in the heart. I just want to explain you. I'm talking from Bhagwan's point of view. I have not made any my own personal concepts about this. Actually, I have no concepts about it. Mind is here, heart is here. You choose heart. You stay in your heart. You stay in awareness, being aware, uninvolved, witnessing, sakshi bhav. Keep practicing. Ego is mixed in it. You suffer, and you are involved, but you keep slowly and slowly, when you keep that practice constantly throughout the day, a time will come that you start feeling peace. As if now you have moved out of that identity. Because you are just paying attention, trying to be witness. Though you are not witness, you are just knowing things happening, but you are involved. It is only acknowledgement. From acknowledgement, witnessing starts happening. And with that comes peace, and profound peace and silence. I also have to tell something about further advanced seekers. I know in this group there are people who are having grace of Bhagwan, and I was talking to Kavita ji, and she started having dreams 4 years ago that she's a baby and Ramana Maharishi is holding her hand and taking her and then reading book and all. And then she was told that she was that Indra. I don't know how many people know about Indra, and where Bhagwan, she said about the life and death, and Bhagwan gave her a mantra. Naham usko. Sorry? Yeah, Naham Deham Koham Soham. And she died young. And there is not one coincidence in her life. Her daughter's name is Indra, because she just gave me the call and I called her, come, your daughter's name is Indra and her mother's name is Indra? Your mother-in-law's name is Indra. And she told me so beautiful experiences of her life in last 4 years. And the explanation of every satsang further, whatever she listens, and her experiences with silence and in that shunya and spurna in your heart. I heard somewhere that Nisargadatta Maharaj said that I agree everything about Bhagwan except that there is nothing like spurna, and I completely disagree with Nisargadatta Maharaj. That was the first thing, even when the thing started happening to me, that I felt this is spurna in the heart. And even now, sometimes it's so vibrant that the whole body is on vibration. Because that energy is that vibration, And she was saying to me, it feels here, and, And it's not just, I have heard from hundreds of people. Maybe the people who follow Bhagwan's path, they all have spurna. That's what I believe. There must be some, this is truest. Bhagwan has not, he's not saying that it is an individual experience. I think it's a universal experience. The Western world has created non-duality as a very separate thing, and don't talk, devotion is like nothing, and they call it New Advaita. I think someone says it's called New Advaita. I will call it nonsense. Because without devotion, nothing can happen, That's why people never have faith. Because to develop faith, you have to have devotion. When you have faith and devotion, then you take that practice seriously. And then you know that I know my Guru has power to do it. He will do it. And then it will happen. So it is very important, In Arunachala Puranam, there are so many sayings of Arunachala that you become my devotee and I will give you moksha, or you stay here and I'll do that. How many people believe in it? We are all here, we have actually seen Arunachala, no? We have done a Girivalam also. Some people have come here multiple times. And if he has promised that even if you once think about me, I will give you moksha, then accept it as the truth, absolute truth. It is not happening because we have a doubt. We means the mind. And with devotion, that doubt goes away. You become so strong because you get all those experiences, some milestones, some internal understanding develops so deep that nothing can deter you, can move you from there. It is a process. I think it takes time, but it definitely happens. And I would say you keep practicing. What Bhagwan says, self-inquiry. Self-inquiry, I believe, is more like when a thought is coming and you're entrapped, and then you say, whom am I? And then you get into the silence. But once you know that silence, then I think the next step is just observing that silence and not engaging with thoughts. And this practice gets deepened and deepened. When something is more emotional you are attached to, then you can get agitated, and then you see it, and then immediately you can withdraw from it, and your reaction is less to things, and you become non-reactive, you become more settled. Still there will be some odd personality trait will be there. If you like gulab jamun, you will still love gulab jamun, you will jump for it. These things doesn't matter, choice of clothes or whatever it is. But at that emotional level of thoughts which binds us, which are strong, will go away. So that is what our personality makes us, a jiva, a soul, an individual. That dissolves. When that dissolves, that energy flows, and it moves in a way that when someone else sees you doing things, they think you are thinking and doing. It is very hard to make. So when something happened, I was looking for someone who was not there. I tried to find that person's room. I knocked, and then that person's room was open. So someone was saying to me, "Oh, you must be stressed with these. So where your thought must be negative thoughts would be coming to you. Oh, you must be agitated." Because you don't know, there is something intuitively moves in you in a way by which you decide, or something decides for you. Nobody can explain it. Like sometimes there's no reasoning for anything. The person with a very, people are sometimes very planned people. They plan everything. 5-year planning, 10-year planning, home planning, finance planning, everything there is planned. And when something goes wrong, then they are depressed. Because there is a divine planning already from prarabdha karma. Huh? Sometimes our planning and the divine planning goes together. So we are happy. When it goes opposite, then we are unhappy. When it goes the way what we thought, divine planning goes the same way, we take proud that, look, I have achieved, I am smart. And when it goes away, then we say, I have bad luck and God is not kind, and So when it goes wrong, we blame God. When it goes right, we take all the pride. No, this is ego. This is the first and last sin, and this only we can remove. No one else can remove. So we have to keep working on it all the time, all the time, all the time. And the good thing about it is that slowly you will start understanding there are two things. You have to give one to someone else and one you have to keep. Very naturally the ego wants to keep the good, when nobody is seeing. And you do it, but then the person who is a seeker will actually do the other way. Pick up the good one to give others, and then you feel, oh, why I am doing it, and let it be. But I'm just telling you, very small things are there, techniques. Like I'm calling them as techniques because now you're aware, and the ego behaves in this way because this is, ego actually fulfills needs and wants of this body. And the God fulfills needs and wants of everyone. This is the difference. For awareness, everyone is equal. Everyone is important. No one is less or more important. Whether they are animals, human beings, or even inanimate things. Everyone is equally. Because everything is equal share of the same. Make this body as instrument of God. That means that the person living in it has to disappear. Because all questions, whatever happening to you, are happening in that person mode, in that ego mode, in which I am this body, there are other bodies, and this is happening, and why all of us in bondage. It is a dream. There is nothing except but a dream. But the problem with this dream is you have to put efforts. The dream at night, the mind comes out of it and then puts us into this dream. And then this dream continues. Everyone is in this dream. Intellectuals, everyone, like people you appreciate in this world who have achieved, everyone is part of this dream. But in whose dream are they coming? In your dream only. So it is your responsibility to wake up from that dream, not anyone else. Like you are sleeping and dreaming, and then you say that I will get out of the dream, when all these people in my dream also get out of the dream. You have to contemplate on this all the time. People think it is easy. It is very easy, just as Bhagavan said, Ati Sulbham. But you have to follow the basic principles of Vedanta. Basic principles never change for anyone. Whether they believe in Vedanta or they don't believe in Vedanta. One of them is Vairagya. We all know Vairagya, detachment. Vedanta goes to an extent that even a saint living in forest, taking care of a deer who was almost was being killed by a hunter, next birth he became a deer. There was a story about this enlightened person. At last he just wanted to show, he saw a mango on the tree just before death, and he became that small insect. And the disciple killed that insect immediately. All these tells how Sukshma Maya is, how it catches us. And we have thousands of attachments and desires, unending. We are actually on the path of increasing it. Though we say we are on the path of spirituality, but at the same time this ego is collecting more attachments and desires, maybe even on a spiritual path. So this awakening from this awakened dream needs vairagya, detachment from everything. And vairagya with mumukshutva, like you are really, longing for it. You just know, you're like on a fire. And you cannot be satisfied by anything except that knowledge. Vairagya and with this mumukshutva and the Shad Sampatti, all those things in that, they are important. But I believe vairagya develops when you have longing for it. You live in family or you don't live in family, you can still be attached to things. It's not that brahmachari or someone who is not having a family is completely detached. You know that. So that detachment comes when your energy is within, inwardly directed. When our energy is inwardly directed, and so much directed, that even this vichara doesn't come that because of my internalization, my family is suffering or my spouse is suffering or someone is, you are so, nobody can hold on to you. We always feel we are trapped in our family and we want to get out of it. If the vairagya is really, really strong, Whether you live with a partner or whatever, nothing can hold you. When you are in that fire, no emotional attachment will be there, and so nothing can hold you from knowing that. So there is no point in even leaving. But if leaving has to happen, that might happen. That is what Bhagwan said. If it's ordained that you have to leave family and run away, if that happens, just accept it. But don't make a planned decision for something like that from the ego. If it happens, it's not a big deal. When we think our family is suffering from my vairagya, that means there is some attachment. We still feel my family, and we are still in both boats, one leg in one leg in. All this family, all this what is happening is my dream, coming projection of my mind. Others are getting freedom or not, or others will be in bondage. There is that Paramatma, that Absolute, taking care of everything. You don't have to worry about it. In India, they say that after 840,000 births, you get a human birth. So it's such a rare thing. And to know the divine in you, you have to have a human birth. But Bhagwan has even challenged it, he gave realization to animals also. But anyway, let's believe that it's the rarest of rare thing which Bhagwan could do. So in that sense, you should have more faith on Bhagwan. If he can do on animals, I am still a human being. I should be able to understand more because I know a language also. And the second important thing in human birth is your interest in spirituality or in God or self-realization. And I believe that is also everyone, that's why everyone is here. And the third and the last important thing is to have a teacher, which we all have. If these three things are there, nobody can stop you from liberation. So I think we are all so much blessed and we should feel good about it rather than feeling that how it will happen. Now, how it will happen is his responsibility, not our responsibility. We have surrendered, we have interest, he knows, he is in our heart, he is Antaryami, he knows more than what we know about ourselves. Our mind can deceive us, it deceives all the time, it shows, it portrays that we are good, others are bad. But that self knows how good or bad we are. So we can deceive ourselves, we can deceive others, but we can't deceive God. Once we are ready, they say, Aap pratiksha mein ho, you are in waiting. You are in waiting. It will happen. If you are the right person for that, he will do it. But he has given you some method, you do it. You know why we do methods? Not for self-realization. People think that you do self-inquiry, you will have self-realization. This is not right. I'm not quoting from any book, but this is my experience. It is just to get more grace. When, let's say, parents have asked a child to do this and then I'll give you that thing, chocolate. You do that thing to get that chocolate. So you are just doing it. But don't do with the doership. People talk like this, I sit for 2 hours, nothing is happening, what should I do? Doership should not be there, even in the practice. Just do because the Guru has said to do, that's all. Don't use too much of mind. and don't look for results all the time. Like you put a seed, and every week you just take out and see how much seed has grown. The seed will die. You have put the seed, you keep watering, put manure, give sunlight, and wait, and it is happening. You will only see when it comes out, So just take time. It takes time. In everyone's case, it takes time. And in some cases, it just happens. So depends whatever practice you have done in the past.
Our thanks to Ramana Ashram, who has given us this space to be here, to stay here, to have food here, to conduct satsangs, to give infrastructure with all of their love and their best service to us. So we are all deeply, deeply grateful to Ramana Ashram management. And of course, we are all grateful to Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, who has entered in our heart, who is doing all this. And people congratulate me, congratulate Arunachala. He has organized everything for all of us. Without his permission, nothing can move. All is his action. Nothing is our action. We cannot have any action. We can't do anything. And we all know this. He does through us all the time. We just have to recognize this truth. That same truth in all of us, we have different names for it. We call it God, our Father, someone can say our Mother, Brahman, awareness, self. All means the same. You might have seen that picture of Hanumanji opening up his heart and then Ram is sitting there. This means that it is this in Hanuman. So Hanuman and Ram is same. That he has found Hanuman has found Ram in his heart. We all have that Ram in our heart. All these things are very symbolic. We need to understand this and learn from this. And then see how Hanuman got Ram. By constant devotion, constant bhakti, constant prayer, constantly saying Ram, 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 Ram. They say wherever you take name of Ram, Hanuman comes there. And he is here right now when I am talking about Ram. And they say if you want to please Ram, you please Hanuman. So what it means is if you want to please God, you please His devotees. Be the devotee of devotees. Appreciate people who come here, who have devotion. Do best what you can do for them. That is why in Indian ancient tradition, we feed sadhus, and saints and sages. It is an old age tradition. Even in Ramana Ashram, they feed all sadhus. And outside you might see a lot of people are feeding sadhus. Don't judge those sadhus whether they are having smoking something or they are beggars only. He has to decide. If they are wearing ochre robes, you can give them food. At least food you can give to anyone. In Melbourne, we have societies and we distribute food to homeless people, to primary school people, primary school students. You think that in developed world people don't need food? They need food. Some people are incapable, they don't have money, they have psychic issues, their family issues that they don't feed their kids. They come to school and they are not, they have no breakfast. So breakfast clubs are there. Giving food is such a good thing, such a good act. Annadanam. And look at ashram, they give so much of food to so many people every day. How beautiful it is.
My Savior, Lord Ramana, my Savior, Lord Ramana, Lord Ramana. On this Advent day of Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi, it has been so many years, 2024, and that Advent day was a day when Venkataramana came to this beautiful place called Arunachala from Madurai. Just after hearing the name Arunachala and Tiruvannamalai, it sparked something deep within that young boy. When he caught the train and landed at the foothills of holy Arunachala, what a beautiful, wonderful experience. And when he came in there, the young boy went, meditated in the Arunachaleshwar temple premises. In the premises, he went down to a small cave and meditated there. When he came out and he went on the hill and went up and stayed for many years in Virupaksha cave and then Skandashram. All the devotees, all the disciples all over the world know how Bhagwan Ramana was born from the young Venkatraman. But the significance of the day of the Advent day is the day that is such an holy and a auspicious occasion. Every moment is auspicious and holy, and all is just here and now. But that day, Advent day, when Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi came to the foothills of Arunachala, is revered as one of the most beautiful days, because that was a blessing for humanity as well. In today's parlance, in today's technological age, one famous word that is used is disruptive technology. And that very same technology, a disruptive technology, was what Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi advised all those who came to ask him. Normally, he was in silence and all teachings used to be conveyed through silence to destroy the mind. Because that was the disruptive technology that Ramana Maharshi used to use through silence to destroy and vanquish the mind and make it still. But when ardent devotees and disciples came and asked him, seekers in the divine came and asked, he would also use the same disruptive technology and advise that rather than using the mind that you have to project it outwards towards objects and objectification, all it does is create me and the other and causes this manifestation and this world to appear, and that causes a lot of issues. Then the whole gamut of likes, dislikes, good, bad, etc., is born, and everything comes about as me and the other. There's always a dichotomy. So his technology was turn the mind inwards. Disrupt what is there in the current to turn that right here and now inwards. And inquire rather, who is this I? Because the substratum of all that is and all that a seeker knows at this stage is I am. That is the only truth. That I am. On top of that, layers are added on of I am this, I am that. I am an engineer, I am a doctor, I am a farmer, I am a teacher, I am a sadhaka, I am a seeker, etc. I am a sannyasi. But all these are only add-ons. Personalities are added on all through the existence of the body. Then you have these other personalities, which is you are a son, you are a daughter, you are a father, you are a mother, you are an aunt, you are an uncle, etc. And the endless amount of personalities that are born. But if one turns back and these personalities are removed, because these personalities have no existence in themselves. A husband is born only when a marriage happens. A wife is born only when a marriage happens. But originally, you are only that I am. So that I am. One needs to investigate to find out who is this I am, which is the substratum. Intellectually knowing that is one thing, but truly, in essence, what is my true nature? Who am I? Is the question. Whether through, as Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi said always, that either through surrender or through inquiry, whatever means may be used, whatever is the propensity of that particular mind, use that to achieve that ultimate goal and realize and reveal, rather, not even realize, but reveal your true nature, which is that pure, absolute self, in silence, as silence. That inquiry and going deeper and deeper as one turns within, when that attention is so strong that that inwardness and that attention that is turned 180 degrees into that source, all this creation that is there, that has been created as I, me, myself and the other, all drops away. The entire edifice dissolves. Because I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am not this intellect. I am that ever-existing reality. Parabrahma Tattva. Satchidananda Atman. Absolute existence, absolute consciousness, absolute bliss. These may sound as only words, but that experience of that revelation can be revealed when Bhagavan said that I see no other. There is no other. Only I. I am that I am. I am I. I am. But that spoken in vocabulary through language is one thing, but that very experience in silence, because silence speaks the language that even vocabulary fails to do, because that is the original sound. And that has to be revealed through not this I of E-Y-E, as in the I of the body, but through that I of eternity. That I of eternity is who you are in reality. And that when revelation happens, then there is only joy, bliss, peace. Whatever has to happen, happens. As in the case of Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi. For 40 years after that, Bhagwan never moved out of Arunachala. And through that Advent day, we have received such teachings and such blessings. Which is disrupting what we are actually engrossed in. And asking us, drawing us inwards. That is what a guru does. From the outward, he is pushing one inward, the seeker inwards. And as the guru within, he is drawing the seeker inwards to reveal the truth in silence. That is Ramana Maharshi's true teachings. Let us all, as seekers in the divine, use this Advent day and every other day, every other moment, to revel in that glory of absolute pure awareness. That is who we are. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Namo Arunachala. Very nice to be here to communicate something from the Gita for you, and of course from our hearts. I actually read this, and it says, the self you surrender to is also the inner witness, the abode, your home, your only refuge. So there's no refuge beyond your inner home. Your only true friend is Krishna, Ramana, Source, God, yourself. So that's very interesting when you see the self you surrender yourself to is your refuge. So that really, really puts a different spotlight on where we've been going outside of ourselves to get refuge. It actually is yourself. And the other thing that I read is, I am the father and the mother of this universe. So that is the self. And I am its grandfather too. So you're all of that. You are this self. I am its entire support. So there's no support anywhere else except from self in a million billion forms. And to know it's just self that is supporting in all those forms. I am the goal of life, the Lord and support of all, the inner witness. So there's no other witness except the self. The abode of all. I am the only refuge, the one true friend. So all the other friends, they fall away. So many just fall away. But the self is still here. I think that's rather wonderful. I am the beginning, the staying, and the end of creation. I am the womb and the eternal seed. Therefore, that pattern of consciousness is who you are. And you are the womb of consciousness, the womb of creation. And this really is something to contemplate. There's nothing beyond any of that. So I just wanted to share that you were the beginning, you're here now, and you are the end. Thank you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.